This is how I made $577 day trading ES on December 9th, 2025. Today is the 12th, but I am recording this trade recap for Tuesday the 9th. We had Fed rate decisions come out Wednesday the 10th that ended up telling us or showing us that we had a 0.25 point decrease, which was priced into the market because we didn't get too big of a reaction out of it. Everybody was kind of expecting that. But nonetheless, coming into the day before the Fed rate decision, I was not going to take a trade if it wasn't there. I was only going to take something if I felt very, very confident. You'll see that trade here as we get into it. We made this big move, this big drawdown, or not big drawdown, but a little bit of a retrace on the higher time frame, and now we're recovering out of it and slowly recovering towards all-time highs. So this is just kind of slow grind price action where we keep putting in higher lows on both indexes. We're building up a bunch of this higher time frame low resistance liquidity on both indexes. So coming into the day, if I drop down here to the hourly, what we have going on essentially is, as I'd mentioned, we got a bunch of this low resistance liquidity building up on the higher time frame here. Now, coming into the day, did I think that all of these levels were going to be achievable today? Probably not, because this would have been a massive move to the downside to come down and take out all these levels, especially since we're hovering up here, middle London session, near low of London session. So, as always, what we do is we mark our liquidity levels coming into the day. Obviously, we got a bunch of this liquidity down here. Really, after this level, though, on NQ and ES, our next liquidity level is down here, which is kind of a stretch away. Not a stretch away if it was in a continuation move. For it to be our first take profit, that is kind of a stretch away. And what I mean by that is we actually come down and take out this hourly low on NQ right at open. So for us to continue short, to come down and take out this low here for a first take profit, what that would look like is, since NQ took out this low at open, what we would have looked for is a retrace and then a confirmation to go lower. Now, if we get into a trade on NQ up here and target all the way down here as a first take profit, that's not really realistic for me, because I do like to target those hourly levels. But coming into the 15-minute time frame, I'll elaborate a little bit more. So what we have here is, let me drop down, let me get this to the 930 open. 930 open, both indexes. You already begin to see what I have here. So we made this move down, retrace 50%, I believe. Yep. So we're around equilibrium, chopping around equilibrium of this move on both indexes. Yep. And what we have here are relatively equal highs on ES and still relatively equal highs on NQ, but not as close together as on ES. And as we know, those relative equal hourly session highs are so strong draws on liquidity, such strong draws. This one is 0.25, this one's 0.5, so a tick difference, almost equal. So I would have, coming into the day, I would have liked to see longs up to take out those levels because they're such low resistance. If I drop, and then if we're going to continue to go short, we can do so after that. But I would think coming into the day that since these are low resistance equal highs, we would come up, sweep those, and use these levels here, these resting orders, as liquidity to then go down and take out all this higher time frame low resistance liquidity if we were going to do so. So that was my thought process coming into the morning. And what we can see here is at open. What we have immediately, NQ comes down, takes out London session low. ES does not. So we immediately have a SMT at London session low where ES is holding it and Q's below it. So that gives us one confluence to the upside, manipulation to the upside. Then NQ comes down and also takes out on the next 15-minute candle. NQ takes out this hourly level here before the macro, early into the session open. So I'll drop down here to the 5-minute time frame, show you what this looks like. It actually does this, I believe, on the opening candle. On the opening candle, NQ comes down. It had already taken out London session, so we had SMT there to begin with. But to give us opening market, another opening market manipulation leg, what we do is come down, take out this hourly level here. So that gives us another confluence to begin to look for longs on ES because it's holding still above London session and still above this hourly level here. So that is what made me lean more towards longs coming into the day as opposed to shorts. Because if we were going to but be more open to a short trade, it would be on NQ because it's leading to the downside. But then, like I said, the next take profit level would be all the way down here. And that's just not, I don't want to say not realistic for a first take profit, but it's a little ways away for a take profit. So, as I had mentioned, coming into the open, we have two SMTs here. We have SMT at this hourly level, where NQ takes it out. We have SMT at this London level here. And then on the 5-minute opening candle, we have a 5-minute SMT as well with the opening candle, where NQ takes a low, obviously below this 5-minute low to come down and sweep this out, and ES stays above it. But not too much emphasis on that 5-minute SMT at open because it is the opening 5-minute candle. I mean, it has a lot of volume, but still emphasis on the session level SMTs. So, as I had said, now I'm beginning to look for opportunities to the upside on ES. And what this looks like is we get a push up, right? Break of structure on the 5-minute. So to be able to target highs on ES, what this looks like is at open, we get a push up and we need some sort of a retrace down, whether it be 50% equilibrium into a inverse gap, whatever it may be. And you can see that on this 5-minute move, we get almost to equilibrium, but some sort of retrace after a 5-minute time frame shows its hand to the upside, some sort of retrace in which we can get a good risk to reward to then target highs. So what this looks like is on the 5-minute, we get this break of structure to the upside. We get a little bit of a retrace. And at this time, we still have this 5-minute SMT holding. We have both of these session SMTs holding. So at this point, on this 5-minute retrace, I was looking for some sort of lower time frame, super low time frame, 1-minute SMT, which then gives us a third SMT to then go long on ES. And this is NQ's 1 minute. So let me pull this over here because we're used to NQ being on the right. ES is 1 minute here. So what this looks like is on this 5-minute retrace, here, NQ comes down, gives us a 1-minute SMT here between this level to this level, which is here, but then also right at the macro, we get a 1-minute SMT from here to here, here to here. And to me, I entered right here off this candle close because, and risk these lows, because we're in a 5-minute structure to the upside. 5-minute structure to the upside, we get a 1-minute retrace, and we're still in 1-minute bullish order flow. I mean, we broke 1-minute structure to the upside. We never broke it to the downside. And then we get a confirmation with this candle. This 1 minute SMT low here was just another confluence for me. Entered here, risked this 5-minute high level here, which looking back, I could have and should have really put first take profit, or all my take profit at the London and Asia session highs, because they're so relatively equal. And I say this all the time, but I don't do it. I don't know what causes me not to do that. Most of my trades, I do take partial take profits at 1-to-1. So I was kind of also factoring that in, securing some profit. It just so happened to be that 1-to-1 was almost right at these 5-minute highs. And it also could have been argued that this could have been potentially, if at this 5-minute level here, a 5-minute SMT to then, send us lower to the downside to continue to take out all these higher time frame levels over here on NQ. But potato. Looking back, I go both ways, 50-50. This is just a bunch of resting 5-minute liquidity here. So this is all low resistance 5-minute liquidity that we could have easily swept and then sent NQ lower. Because at the time, the high a day was this level here, which is equal to that 650, which is another reason why it was super bullish. These are equal 5-minute highs here, and then all this low resistance liquidity. This is the top level, all this 5-minute low resistance liquidity. So I put take profit there as well. So looking back, it's not a bad take profit level. But when we have hourly session highs this close together, I need to scale more at these levels here. And as you can see, we hit partial take profit here. And then can I actually pull up I won't show my trade recaps or my entries, but partial take profit here. And then top ticked equal highs the 68.50 level with Asia session high. So very confident trade. I was confident in. I sized up slightly. I still wish I would have sized up a little bit more. I feel like one of my issues right now is my wins aren't that much bigger than my losses. So I'm kind of at this break even / slightly green stage, where the only reason I feel like, well, not the only reason I'm green, but I'm green because my win percentage is a little higher. But I need to find ways to make my wins larger than my losses. And it could come down to when we have hourly session levels like this, I really just need to sit all the take profit at these highs. But that also would have been a first take profit level of 2-to-1, I believe. And that was, I don't know what this line's doing, but that was also a reason why I didn't want to look for shorts on NQ. Or not didn't want to, but felt that it's slightly unrealistic, is because a first take profit is farther away. But at the same time, price is showing us its hand, it's showing us that it wants to go long. So it's just something I'm gonna have to reflect on and journal about, is my take profit levels. But that was today's trade recap, or not today's trade recap, but December 9th, Tuesday's trade recap. Thank you.